What is going on, my broskies? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're here with some more Garp Challenge content, 10-star difficulty Garp Challenge, one team, no changes, and of course we're going to be showcasing the brand new Sugo Fest exclusive Kaido versus Big Mom. So I've already made a video talking about Kaido, I've made a showcase video already, make sure to go ahead and peep that out on the channel, but now we're going to be starting to look at Big Mom and see what she's able to do. So in today's video, as I said, we're going to be building a team, this team right here, a full int team that is able to take on all 10-star difficulty Garp challenges with no changes whatsoever. So with this team, we've got the Megalo ship, of course. If we're running an int team, Megalo ship is fantastic because it gives us damage reduction, it increases the actual recovery of our captain as well, and it also has a really nice special to lock your orb, so it's a nice effect to have. We've also got Big Mom, of course, with the support of Halloween Law. So it means that as soon as we launch her special, we get the attack boost, and then the support of Law will give us an orb boost as well. So it's really nice to get an attack and orb boost for our whole team just with one special activation. Then we've got Robin there with the support of Croc. She's only here, basically, just for the NL Garp challenge, which we'll talk about more once we get to it. Baccarat with the Guild Tesoro support, obviously, quite good. Then we've got Ein with the support of Tao Nami to ensure that when we reach the final boss stage, we get additional color affinity, which again is mainly only for the NL Garp challenge. And then we've got Sangoro, the Colosseum Sangoro, who actually heals us, gives us cooldown reduction, changes orbs into matching, gives us color affinity. He's a phenomenal unit, and the fact that he's a Sanji unit means we can attach the support of Pudding to get rid of the stun debuff once again on the NL Garp challenge. A lot of these units here are prepping for that NL Garp challenge because he's just kind of annoying, and then the other unit special abilities can kind of carry us the way through. But so that's the breakdown of the team. So now let's go ahead and jump into the video using versus Big Mom against the 10-star difficulty Garp challenges. Alright, so jumping into this video here, we're going to be starting off, of course, with the Doflamingo Challenge. Doflamingo Challenge always seems to be a little bit of an issue just because of the paralysis and the despair debuffs. Unless if you're running a unit that legit can just resist it altogether, like Halloween Law, Halloween Mihawk. You know, the Doflamingo Challenge is always kind of annoying to deal with. But either way, just talking about Big Mom, right? I would not advise to run this team over the other int team that versus all of the other Garp challenges that I've uploaded to my YouTube channel. I vastly prefer the other team. Not saying this team isn't bad, because it can definitely get the job done. It's just that it's a little bit more guaranteed, I would say, on the Halloween team that I have made previously. Because you do have to rely on, you know, recovery orbs appearing, so relying on the captain effect of Big Mom, which isn't overly bad, because her captain effect does make recovery slots appear a lot more often than you would think, and that's just the playstyle of Big Mom. She's a little bit different compared to the, like the Kaido that I uploaded the other day. Kaido tries to clear content as fast as possible, hitting very hard. His versus effect is very, very offensive, whereas Big Mom, you know, while she still has a 5x captain effect, she has a higher multiplier of health, and she also will, with her versus effect, be a little bit more defensive. She likes to recover a lot of health. Her versus effect is insanely good for high difficulty content, and as you guys will see a little bit later on in the NL Garp challenge, which is definitely one of the more difficult ones, I would say, the fact that, you know, we do have to stall a little bit on one of the stages to ensure that we get around the debuffs, and by that time we don't have a lot of health left. However, because of Big Mom's versus effect, we're able to recover a lot of our health back immediately in the next stage, because every time you kill something, you recover 15 times that character's recovery. So, of course, you want to be making sure that when you have this character, you want to max out their HP, you want to max out their attack, and you want to max out their recovery cotton candies, because it's super valuable for both sides of this unit to have maxed out stats in every capacity. So ensure that if you do end up pulling this unit, make sure to max out the recovery stat to make Big Mom even better than what she already is, of course. And one thing to note that I actually kind of realized that I didn't actually know is that Big Mom's versus effect, like, we all know the fact that it makes her bypass defensive effects, but it's actually a really bad thing for the character in general if you're having other characters that you want to attack with, because, you know, normally with barrier penetration, the way that it exists now is that, you know, if there's a combo hit barrier, when you hit a character with barrier penetration, it not only bypasses the barrier, but it does reduce the condition of that barrier. So if it's a 10 turn like combo hit barrier, and Big Mom is like a 6 combo hit unit, then, you know, it'll go down to a 4 hit. However, when Big Mom activates her versus effect, it actually does not reduce the condition of the barrier when she attacks, which I did actually find out in the final clip of this video against the NL Garp challenge. You'll see that that actually is kind of detrimental, and like we only like just got the kill because of that effect of Big Mom. So realistically speaking, you probably don't want to activate it if you're attacking with a bunch of other units as well. Just thought I'd point that out just in case if you guys didn't know that. It doesn't work like current barrier penetration with her versus effect. It actually works very similarly to how barrier penetration worked before the update. So it's not as good as you think. I don't know if that is an error or if it was built to be that way. I really hope that it does get fixed to be like current barrier penetration because it would make her substantially better. But I just thought I'd point it out because it was something that I did notice. And of course, Baccarat on this team as well is super useful for that stage prior against Treble, getting rid of the paralysis, killing off the mobs, and then we can just kill off Treble whenever we want. And that enables us to beat this this challenge just significantly easier compared to other times. So, Recruit Baccarat coming in clutch. And then after that, you know, of course, we have the Big Mom special to get the attack boost. We hit our perfects, get the orb boost in the following turn. We can activate the secondary Big Mom. We've got our health cuts coming through here, and then it's GG. So, I'll go ahead and talk to you guys again once we get to the Revolutionary Army Garp Challenge. So the Revolutionary Army Garp challenge is substantially easier compared to the Doflamingo challenge here. So the thing about this stage is that the debuffs, of course, I talk about this extensively in other, you know, Garp challenge 10-star difficulty videos, but the debuffs that you have to deal with on the Rev challenge are just a lot easier to deal with, right? So you got like the defense up here, Iron can get rid of that. We get inflicted with Bind on stage 3, but we can use Iron once again to remove that, and we get inflicted with Bind again on stage 6. But again, by the time we get to stage 6, Iron is going to be ready once again. Having Limit Break expansion for some of these characters is something that I would really advise too. So if you like to use a lot of the common units versus these 10-star difficulty Garp challenges, of course, getting them to their best possible setting being Limit Break expanded, lowered cooldown, max sockets, Rainbow, it's something I would advise because it does make clearing these challenges a lot easier. So if you do clear them every single month, which I would strongly, you know, advise you do that because you do get some pretty good rewards by clearing them every single month. Maxing out characters such as Baccarat and Iron, those are two of the best int characters you can run as crewmates for your versus int challenge, so make sure to go ahead and do that. Invaluable characters to use here. And of course, because of the NL challenge that has come into the game, having access to Sun Goro here with the support of Pudding is really nice to get rid of that stun debuff on the final stage of NL, which is really, really good. And as I said a little earlier on in the video when we're talking about the team breakdown, the Legend Robert on this team is kind of like useless in all of these challenges. But, you know, if you're about to get hit with a huge hit of damage, you can just use her special to just tank it if you want. But the really good thing about Robin is not only do you enable you to just basically just survive anything, but she gives you adjacent slots into recovery, which of course Big Mom treats as beneficial, and you want to try and consume as many recovery or similar slots or tandem slots as possible so you can get her versus effect to activate. And she also boosts the attack of Cerebral units. Now, the only Cerebral units we have on our team is Robin herself and also Baccarat. It is a little bit of a shame. It would have been nice if, like, potentially Iron was a Cerebral unit, but no, she's a slasher shooter, I believe. So it's a very interesting combination there. And Big Mom is a driven powerhouse. Sanji is a powerhouse fighter, I want to say. Either way, he doesn't get boosted by Robin's special, unfortunately. And then here we are on this Revolutionary Army challenge. Right here, this is the best part because, of course, we can use Big Mom's special to change those slots, the block slots, into recovery or similar slots in this case here. We can lock them so we can keep them for the following turn. And yeah, the Revolutionary Army is ridiculously easy these days with how powerful some of the Sugo Fest exclusives are. But I'll leave you guys with this clip and we'll pick things up with the White Pit Challenge. So now we move on up to the Whitebeard challenge this time. Also like a pretty straightforward challenge. Baccarat is the straight up MVP for the Whitebeard challenge, which if you guys have seen any of my videos going through these Garp challenges, you would know that every time we get to this stage here against Whitebeard, Baccarat, Colosseum, NL, those units in particular are ridiculous because they remove the attack down, paralysis, and the chain lock. Their cooldown isn't that high, so you can use them for multiple times in the run, because we do need to remove attack down 2 times in this fight. And of course you do need a unit that removes increased defense and % damage reduction, which we have Iron to do that here, which is great. And then, you know, Sangoro, Robin, and the Big Mom special just kind of just need to be used whenever we need them, right? So it's kind of nice, right? You know, I really like the Sanji special, like, because obviously Sanji is nice to have for the pudding support on the NL stage, but Sanji is kind of nice because you can just activate him kind of like whenever you need it. If you need some health back, you can use Sanji to get some health. If you need a matching slots, you can use Sanji to get slots. If you need some extra damage against a Psy enemy, like, you can just use his special to not only give you those slots, but give you color affinity as well. So there's lots of good uses for Sanji, but he actually sees really, really good play against NL because of that support, as I said, but also because on stage 5, you get special rewinded and there's a Psy enemy, so using his special to get slots, get color affinity, does make clearing that stage significantly easier. But you know, you can just launch Sanji whenever you want, and again with Robin, you can launch her whenever you want. Except you do need Robin for the final stage of NL, which we're talking a lot about NL here, but it's mainly prepping this team for NL because the other 3 challenges aren't as difficult. Just, you know, the Doflamingo challenge isn't really difficult, I would say, but it's the fact that the debuffs are just super annoying. So you need to bring the applicable characters to get around that, of course. But, you know, one of the really good things with Big Mom is that, you know, even if you do have to tank a lot to try and get rid of some debuffs, you can do that. So long as it's not Despair, because Despair is kind of a problem, because you do lose a lot of health if you are Despaired. But, you know, if you do lose a lot of your health, you can recover it back with their Versus effect. So long as you have the Versus effect active, you recover so much. As soon as you kill stuff, you are just healing crazy amounts of recovery back, and of course, because she makes recovery slots appear more often, every time you hit it perfect, you consume the recovery slot because of her captain effect, which is a really cool thing. And I'm surprised it's taken this long for them to develop a character that had the capabilities of consuming recovery slots whilst hitting it perfect. This is something that a lot of people have been talking about for a really long time in One Piece Treasure Cruise, but it's only just come in now with this Big Mom character, so it's nice that we do have that. So, you know, even though you want to heal with the recovery slot normally, sometimes you want to be just doing that damage output so you can kill the enemy, but you get the best of both worlds with Versus Big Mom, which I definitely like. That's one of the components about Big Mom that I do like a lot, is the healing that she gets. But offensively wise, Kaido definitely destroys her just because of his Versus effect. But of course, you know, they kind of, you know, level out a little bit more when there is normal attacks only, because obviously Kaido's effect doesn't really do much if there's normal attacks only. But then again, on the flip side, you know, there's kind of semi-utility with Kaido because you can get around resilience debuffs with the effect that he has, or even just with his captain effect as well. But I'll leave you guys with this now. It's pretty much over at this point. You know, there's absolutely no problems. As long as we get to stage 6 and we have Baccarat special active, we pretty much have it in the bag from here on out. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up, and we'll pick things up in the final clip of this video versus the NL Garp challenge. So here we are versus NL. Now, as I mentioned a little bit earlier on in the video, we do need to tank a lot of damage on this stage for this team to work. We have to tank a lot of damage on stage 3. Stage 3 is that really annoying stage where you get inflicted with the burn debuff. Originally, I was planning to try out a team with, instead of Robin, I had Rayleigh on the team who we could use for more utility. But what I found was I didn't have any good damage on the final stage of NL, which is why I replaced it with Robin with the Croc support, which will help us remove the special bind on the final stage of Robin, enables us to use the Robin special, and ultimately give us recovery slots, which is good, and give the attack boost to our cerebral units, which is nice. But, you know, on stage 3, we have to deal with that character that has the barrier, has the burn, and then after we get rid of the burn, we get paralyzed, so we actually tank all of those debuffs, and once those debuffs are all gone, then we can move on to the following stage. Now, by that point, our HP isn't looking too good. We actually do have a lot of health missing on our team. However, as I mentioned in the video, the fact that we have access to the versus Big Mom effect, we can get a lot of recovery back once we move into the stage after, which is against Wiper and his 2 subordinate characters. Every time we kill one of the enemies, we heal back 15 times Big Mom's recovery, and because we kill to 3 units on that stage, we heal back, you know, 45 times her recovery. And if we hit a perfect or just consume a recovery slot while it's on our team, that gives us additional health back as well. There's just so much to like about Big Mom when you're in that kind of situation where you are really struggling for HP, but if you have the capabilities of taking out enemies, you can just recover most of your health back, which is so useful to have. The only real problem, of course, is going to be whenever you're inflicted with Despair, because Despair ultimately removes a large chunk of your health. So, you know, potentially if you really wanted to run like a mono int team, you could run like a Law friend captain, which will remove 10 turns of Despair. You could run Halloween Mihawk as a friend captain as well to get rid of paralysis. But of course, for this particular video, I wanted to showcase the fact that double versus Big Mom is able to get the job done. But realistically speaking, if you want an easier time clearing this content, I probably would advise using Halloween Law or using Halloween Mihawk as a friend captain if you really wanted to use versus Big Mom as your captain, your dedicated captain, to take down these 10-star difficulty GARP challenges. But I'm going to wrap up this video here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I'll be uploading a showcase video of Big Mom, hopefully relatively soon, so stay tuned to the channel for that. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to go ahead and hit the like button, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.